Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it? You already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye, bye. Let's get straight to the intro. This is a good one. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that I stay kicking. And I appreciate all of the support. Thank you guys so much. I'm very humbled by it. So Rodney in fucking LA, right? All Point Bulletin. Is there a target on Rodney in LA's back? Now, who is Rodney in LA? Rodney in LA is the king of the hood vlogs, right? The guy who pretty much set the foundation, not the very first one, but probably the most notably known one on YouTube, on that social media platform, to go out and interview and do these hood vlogs. Now, that's his whole stake in the game. That's his whole horse in the race, is going to some of the most notorious neighborhoods in California, Northerners, Southerners, Crips, Bloods, and every other gang in the meantime, in between time. And he has actually allowed full access into their neighborhoods to ask some very detrimental questions. But at the same time, right, just because he is allowed, there's a lot of people that hate. At the end of the day, that's his thing. He's going to continue to do it, or is he? Because see, an incident went down the other day that everybody's talking about. Everybody on social media is talking about this situation where these Southsiders ran up and hit up a couple younger black gentlemen, right? That looked like they were standing at a bus stop, and Rodney from LA was doing an interview. Now, if you listen to the full video, which I did several times over, they were actually having a great conversation, and it was a good interview. It was enlightening, it was educational, and it was positive. And these two black youngsters, they definitely impressed me with their education and their get down, right? You see, a lot of people are trying to blame Rodney from LA for creating the atmosphere of this incident. But let me tell you guys right now, this was just your typical incident in Los Angeles, California. This was your typical incident in Northern California. This happens every day, all the time. Only it's a little bit different in Los Angeles compared to Northern California, and I'll explain the reasonings how. But I will tell you guys this. I didn't see nothing too crazy happen. If anything, I'm glad because of who Rodney from LA is, the incident didn't get worse. It could have become way more crazier. But again, what do I always tell you guys? What have I told you in past videos? Those that continuously watch me and know exactly how I talk, right? I told you guys in just a few videos back that these hood vlogs, that these going into these neighborhoods, interviewing gang members, active gang members, was going to lead to some bullshit. Didn't I tell you that? I told you that, right? It was only a matter of time. Now, this incident isn't as major as people are trying to do it. They're trying to do a lot of dividing. They're trying to make and create division between black and brown, which has already been there for decades, right? But it's like the content creators to run to the internet to try to convince the youngsters, man, that the Southsiders were pushing up on the blacks because they were black, or that the brothers were having some type of issues with the Southsiders because they were brown. And that was furthest from the truth. In fact, if you listen to that full interview prior to the Southsiders coming up and hitting these youngsters up, there was a lot going on there. There was a lot of black and brown unity talk. In fact, one of the brothers was showing tattoos and talking about how it was from one of his dead homeboys that's actually from 155 Compton, who was actually a brown man, Raza, talking about how there was a lot of unity and a lot of respect between the black and brown communities. This is what Rodney in LA was talking about. This is what these two individuals were talking about before three gang members jumped out the whip, circled back, doubled back, and decided they wanted to hit these guys up. Because, of course, in Los Angeles, it's very gang-related, okay? Every block has a barrio. Every area is accounted for. everybody believes that that certain block belongs to them. And so if you see someone out of the ordinary in your neighborhood, someone that you don't recognize, someone who shouldn't be there, and you see an individual with a mask on, a baño, talking to a couple brothers, man, especially in Southern California, where we know there's a lot of black and brown, I guess, friction and tension. Now, that doesn't go for every neighborhood. You know, in fact, there's several, and I mean several Crip neighborhoods that actually get along with the Southern Raza, the Southsiders. I noticed that and this is just from me just doing my homework and tripping out on Southern California, because I'm not from the Sur gang. I'm from Northern California, but just peeping it out and knowing the history and having done time around these gangs and around real ones from Southern California, I could tell you guys that in the South Side, the Southern California area, if they see you out of bounds, if they see you, you know, just chilling out, they're going to hit you up, especially Southerners. And I know it seems aggressive. And if you watched that Rodney in LA video, it did seem aggressive the way the Southsiders jumped off the whip, came walking up and hit these guys up. They started hollering out neighborhoods. I heard avenues. I heard Azusa. I actually did time with guys from avenues and Azusa, right? So I know them areas quite well from talking to these guys. But it seemed like probably what happened, just in my perspective, is these guys cruised by and they seen these youngsters, or someone told them, hey, there's a couple brothers over there, man, looking highly suspicious, kicking back in the barrio, the neighborhood, man. We ain't recognize these dudes. Just go hit them up. And they decided to take off on foot or pull up in the whip, jump out on them and hit them up. Now, the differences between Southern California and Northern California is usually in Southern California. Now, it depends, because they're black, right? I could understand saying, hey, where you from? Because you want to know what neighborhood they're from. If they got beef, then it's going to be on site right there. The smoke is going to start smoking, right? So I could see Mexicans telling the blacks, where you from? Now, it sounded a little aggressive when these guys were saying it. And the reason it sounded aggressive is that's the way Southsiders hit you up. You got to understand, there's an arrogance to the Sureños, to the Southsiders, man, that is instilled in them. Their belief system is that they control everything. That is the way they are taught. They are taught different from a Norteño, where a Norteño's hatred for Southsiders stems from this propaganda that's been fed to them, that the Southerners oppress them, that the Southsiders are trying to invade, that the Southsiders are trying to take over, right? This is the mentality, and this is why you see a lot of the Norteños hate Southsiders, and you see a lot of the Southsiders, the real ones, don't give a shit about the Norteño cause and don't even care about the Norteño movement, because they are so far away. They're more concerned with their enemigos that are in their direct area. And unfortunately, a lot of that is black and brown, especially like the Bloods. I noticed in Southern California, a lot of the blood gangs don't get along with Southsiders, don't get along with 18, don't get along with a lot of different voters. And then there are some that do. It just depends on what section and what area you're in and how you grew up. And that's just about that, right? So to see these Southsiders get off, people are saying, oh, they were aggressive. They punked these black dudes. Where and how? I don't know how watching that video anyone could say that them brothers got punked. I seen Poetic Flaco did a video on it, and he tried to say that the black LA gang members are scared of Mexican gang members. I seen Snoopy Badass say in a video that the black gang members are scared of the Southsiders in and out of prison, right? And I told you guys in my videos, I've never seen that. I've never seen one group scared of another group. I've seen individuals scared of other individuals that are a different fucking color than them, a different pigmentation. But I've never seen as a group the brothers bow down to anyone. I've seen the brothers on the yard maintain and handle their business. Now, they might have different politics that some people misconstrue as weaker politics, but that's their shit. You're not black. Don't worry about it, right? And they should not be worried about brown. That's why I'm very confused when I see black and brown talking shit about each other on social media, on the internet, based upon prison or gang politics, because your guys' politics serve no purpose on the streets unless it's your neighborhood that you're dealing with. That's just facts. That's real. To see black and brown arguing over who's all good, who's all bad, it's like, man, if you went by Mexican politics, they would consider all the brothers bad just based upon their politics. And of course, the blacks would say, well, that ain't our get down. We ain't got to push like you guys push. So you guys are can't judge us, right? So that's how that goes. That's the facts, right? That's why it's better to keep your politics to yourself and just do your thing. You either fuck with each other or you don't. Now, in this case, these Southsiders decided to pull up on these guys because they seen guys they did not recognize in their neighborhood. And Rodney in LA was interviewing them. Now, when they did hit these black dudes up, they did not look scared, but they looked fucking concerned. And I would be concerned too if a couple fucking 2 or 3 Southsiders are walking up, tatted back, OG looking motherfuckers hitting you up like, hey, and they're immediately yelling out their neighborhoods because basically they're aggressive. They're arrogant, they're aggressive, and they're ready for whatever. If you say the wrong thing, it's on and cracking. Now, these brothers did not bow down. They said, we're from Compton. They said exactly where they were from. They did not look down. They looked forward, and they seemed concerned. Of course, man, anytime there's tension, anytime something's about to kick off, you're a little bit concerned. You're not scared. You might have some butterflies fucking around in your stomach like the game had up by his eye, but you're not scared, right? And I didn't see none of that. Now, what I did hear and I did see is Rodney in LA immediately voice, and them guys recognized him. And as soon as they recognized him, I heard one say, oh, yeah, man, I remember you, bro. You were interviewing in Bassett and whoop-de-whoop and wop-de-wop, right? And because of that recognition of Rodney in LA, they immediately knew what he was doing, and they respected him enough because he's respected within these barrios and these communities. He has gained the respect from the gangs, the local gangs, from the whole LA area and Northern California, enough so and that he's recognizable and that people respect what he's doing. So I have no choice but to respect what he's doing. Hey, he's laying the foundation down for people like JRen TV and others to do what they do. Now, they've been doing it all over, and people are getting the misconception that there's some beef between myself and JRen TV over my skepticism on people going in hoods. And that has nothing to do with hatred and has nothing to do with any bullshit. It has more so to do with just concern. I don't want to see a young brown man get hurt, because sometimes, man, you don't know what certain gang members do. You might know the gang and you might be respected by some, but not everybody feels the same way about cameras and fucking interviews. And that's just the truth. That's my only concern with people like Rodney in LA and these guys, is the understanding that, hey, I could see you get hurt because you might not be up to par or up on game on some of the things that are going on within that neighborhood. There could be tension and cliques within that neighborhood that are going at it. Just because you're in a barrio or neighborhood doesn't mean everybody's getting along at that particular time. There's personal beef, and you can get caught up as a civilian, and shots don't have no motherfucking name. That's my only concern right there. There's no beef. There's no hatred. There's no do what you do. Just do it with the understanding that you could get hurt at any given time, and that would be very fucking unfortunate because you're needed in the social media community because everybody likes watching your videos. Your videos, Rodney in LA, JRen TV, these other guys, these hood vloggers, their videos are intriguing. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a trip to see how these other gang members talk. Not nowadays, really, with the way that these youngsters are acting, but to hear some of the historia and to see the culture that surrounds these historic neighborhoods is a trip, right? And it makes for good content. Now, from Rodney in LA, what I've seen is he's getting a lot of hate right now. There's a lot of people blasting him on social media saying he's not going to be allowed in their barrio, that he's getting canceled out, that he created that atmosphere for that animosity, but he didn't create shit. If anything, he created an escape route for those 2 brothers who it might have been a different story if he wasn't there. It might have been a whole different story, because one thing we do know between the black and brown communities, especially in Southern California, is there is lightweight tension. And there's a lot of dividers and a lot of creators on social media that try to continue that trend of division, try to talk shit, try to stir the pot, because they're not out there in the streets like that. They're safely in their home tucked away so they can create that air of mystery and animosity between black and brown. But the truth of the matter is black and brown are not at odds like they used to be in the 90s, not even a little bit. A lot of the black and brown communities agree to disagree and go their own ways, or they fuck with each other. I know a lot of brothers that fuck with Mexicans in the LA area, right? And I know a lot of Mexicans that got a lot of love and respect for the black community, right? But you got people that create this fucking air of hatred, saying, oh man, the Mexicans want to be like the blacks, or oh, the blacks are trying to take over this. And it's crazy. Everyone is just living, man. We're all living. Everyone has hardships, everyone has struggle, and everyone has success. And the only way to be successful, no matter what fucking color you are, no, there's no special privileges. The only way to be successful is to go out there and get off your ass and handle it. Work, strive, go hard, be consistent, do your thing. Bang, bang, ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And one day you could be that guy that everyone's looking at, if that's what you want to be. Now, for Rodney in LA to be receiving this hatred, you know, I could understand where people are saying if he didn't put those brothers in that position, then the Southsiders would have not been angry. They were not angry. In fact, they was on mild. That was mild salsa. Okay? That was not fucking tacaliente. That was friísimo. That was cold. Them guys didn't get off fucking ready to blast and do everything, because let me tell you, Southerners that I've been around, when they're ready, they're not going to say shit. They're going to be like, what's up, Bessie? That's about all you're going to get, and you're going to hear shots. Shots. Hey, man down, man down. That's what you're going to get. Them guys went over there to just let everyone know and represent their area and their neighborhood. Now, I believe those two black kids were not scared. So for people like Poetic Flacco and other creators to say, oh, man, blacks stay getting punked by Southsiders, how does getting hit up where you from a part of getting punked? Especially if you say where you're from. You're basically letting them know, okay, this is where I'm from. Now, this where I'm from, where you're from shit is stupid. We're all from Earth. We're all from the same streets. We're all from our mama, right? That's where we're really from. But of course, man, in a logical sense, in a way of thinking, the way the world is, we grew up in a certain area and we're proud of the area we grew up in. People are proud to have roaches. They're proud to be on government's AFDC. They're proud to be on EBT or whatever the fuck it is, welfare. They're the AFCD or whatever, AFDC. I've never been on the shit. My mom was, though, right? But they're proud of it. Why don't you be proud of going to college? Why don't we talk about people being successful and getting master's degrees in the brown and black community and even the wood community, brothers? That's what I'm proud of, right? But we're proud of our neighborhoods. We're proud of our gang success, and we're proud of our, I guess, our pride as a gang member. Anyways, these guys hitting these blacks up, they didn't do it because they were black. Okay, let's not get it twisted, Poetic Flacco and these other guys that are trying to create, division. They didn't do that. They hit them up because they recognized a couple individuals that were not from their area and like, what the fuck are you guys doing over here, man? Are you guys posing a threat? Are you guys looking for some bullshit? Because if you want that smoke, we're right here. It's the same thing that happens when a Mexican goes in a black neighborhood, right? And they see a couple essays kicking back on the corner, a couple Mexicans. What do you think is going to happen? Brothers is going to pull up. I've seen it a million times. And brothers, hey, man, where y'all from? Florencia, say 18 or wherever they say, right? And if the blacks fuck with them, they're going to be like, all right, woo, I know your homeboy this. I was locked up with your homeboy Sneaky or whatever. And if they don't, then it could be ugly. Or it just might not be. It just depends. Or they might not even hit them up, because most brothers, man, ain't even really tripping. They're just trying to get their money and fuck a bitch. That's what it is. Okay? So for people to be hating on Rodney in LA, thinking that he's creating this bullshit, he's not. If it wasn't for him, that could have went left very quick. That could have been all bad. So I don't understand the people that are tripping on him. Now, of course, at the end of the day, I do, and I've warned you guys about these hood vlogs and how this can create an atmosphere for tension. It just is what it is. But I thought Rodney from LA was having a good interview. If you listen to it, those brothers were pro raza. They were showing a lot of respect and love for the brown community. And it was just unfortunate that they got hit up at that particular time. And it was even unfortunate that the video was put out there. But I don't think Rodney from LA seen it as a bad thing. He just seen it as a chance to go viral, possibly, or to show you how it really is and how it's in the game, man. You could be talking about to somebody and then anything happens. You know what I'm saying? It's just authentic, organic. It's real. Now, as far as hitting up in Northern California, I said I was going to explain it. Nowadays, they don't say where you from. I can understand black and brown asking where you from, what city you from. But nowadays, and it's always been like this, when they see Mexicans in Northern California, it's always, are you a homie? Are you active? Are you a homie? They don't care about none of that other bullshit. It's either are you a homie or are you active? And just like Southsiders that call each other homies, Northerners call each other homies too. And you can tell what type of homie that homie is, because homies don't play that, right? That's just the truth. Anyways, I wanted to do this video because I've seen several other videos and a lot of content creators, black and brown, speaking on this. I don't see the big issue. I don't see the big deal. I didn't see nobody get punked. No Southsiders are not punking all blacks in LA, and no blacks are not bowing down whatsoever, not to anybody or anything. That's just the facts and the truth. Am I pro raza? I'm always going to rock with my peoples. And that's why I'm going to keep it real and tell you the truth, because I don't want a whole bunch of little cell soldiers and people that bump baking soda breath on the door to feel empowered and feel like I am Batman and I'm a hero, right? And to go out there and think that the brother's going to bow down, the brother's going to knock your shit off, right? That's just what's going to happen. Anyways, it's a trip to me to see these brothers, man, like Poetic Flacco and Snoopy Badass, basically put their own people down, trying to prove to the people that, oh man, see these dudes, man, y'all scary, you're all scary. It's basically like trying to pump them up to like show that they're not and do something to the brown people. That's kind of the way I'm taking it, the way I look at it. And it's far and few between. It's not everyone that's doing it, because you got people like Compton Rick Rock, who's very, very, very respectful, man, and puts out some real content. That's why I fuck with it. And you got people like Dubs, man, that keep it real and speak some real shit. So there's a lot of content creators that are trying to diffuse the attention that these fucking fake podcasters are trying to flip. Anyways, with that being said, let me know what you guys think. Do you think the Southsiders ran up and just punked these brothers and they tucked their tail? I don't think so. The moment that they said where they were from, if them Southsiders had an issue, they would have got off. And for the people that are hating on Rodney in LA and saying, hey, you are fucking going to get blackballed, you are creating drama. He didn't create that drama. Guess what? Who created it? The streets, the gangs. That drama was going to happen whether Rodney was there or not. Them brothers and them Southsiders, because they could have got locked up, or even, you don't know if them brothers had something on them, right? That is a good thing, man, that he stopped that. That's just the way I see it. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people, man. This video is sponsored by Barrio Liquors out there in Turlock, California. If you're ever in the area, make sure that you pull up to the Barrio and show some support. Also by Sticks and Stones Yard Service out there in Big Bad, Arizona. If you're in the area, man, Google the homeboy Sticks and Stones Yard Service, and if he's in your direct area, he'll pull up and wah, he got you. Let me know what you guys think. Should Rodney in LA be banned? I say nope.